here's the tale of the tape, the TT. Triton flyweight title, 28-year-old Danny Maldonado, 5 feet 4 inches tall with a 3-3 record, weighed in right at 125. Gio Alvarez, the submission magician, 39 years old, 5'6", 8-1 record, the most experienced fighter on this card. He weighed in at 126, so just a 1 pound advantage for him. Speaking of advantages, our advantageous ring announcer, Steve Peacock, has the introductions.
From the space at Westbury, New York, and streaming live around the world on Pluto TV, Tiger Life Energy presents Triton Fights 6. This event is being sponsored by Tiger Life Energy. Never tasted so good. By No Better Foods. Visit nofoods.com and use promo code Triton25 to save 25% on your next order. By Footlocks of Long Island, sports medicine that helps improve athletic performance as well as beyond average, another sponsor. And by Cannes Sports Bar of Westbury, Triton Fights official after party. And now for our Triton flyweight title bout. First up, we have a 39-year-old who stands at 5'6" and weighs 126 pounds. He has an 8-1 record, represents Apprentice MMA/UFC Hoboken, and hails from Jersey City, New Jersey. Out of the blue corner, Giovanni, the submission magician, Alvarez. His opponent is a 28-year-old who stands at 5'4" and weighs 125 pounds. He has a 3-3 record, represents Supreme Team Box, Bancho MMA, and hails from Queens, New York. In the red corner, Danny Flashionado Maldonado.
Ready for this flyweight title tilt between Maldonado and Alvarez. Two guys that just do not like each other. As we learned earlier, Eric Ott brought it up, and again, after this, go check out the video. Don't do it now because you don't want to miss this fight. This is for the 125-pound belt. It starts now.
Who doesn't love a good bad blood scrap?
Well, Gio Alvarez landed an inside leg kick there. He's looking to work kicks early on. Closes the distance. Maldonado acting like, yeah, looks like there's a little shot to the groin. Unintentional, and then a heavy leg kick just to the inside of the knee of Maldonado. Maldonado gets up against the cage with Alvarez. He's got one leg, not letting go. Finally works to the takedown when he got a hand on that second leg. 125-pounders, Eric, known for speed, agility, a little bit of grace.
I don't know anything about that. I got like 50 pounds on these guys on like a good day. I think I weigh closer to 210 right now. So it's a much different paced fight. And whoa,
Inverted triangle.
Inverted triangle.
From the bottom.
But Maldonado's head is almost out. There it is. So interesting attempt. Wasn't going to happen, but.
Real slick. You can finish that, but you just have to shift your hips and you have to slide over to the other side, which would be real difficult up against a cage like that. That's actually a move that I use from time to time, being as that I have very long, thin legs.
Tell us more about your legs, Eric. Gio Alvarez.
I'm not a legs man, so I don't know if I'd be able to pay them good justice.
Gio Alvarez and Danny Maldonado here for the Triton flyweight belt. 1:15 left in round one.
Good pass by Maldonado.
You know, when we talk about the bad blood, Dave, between these two, sometimes that can lead people to come out and just go for it all and expend all their energy, burn themselves out, and kind of screw themselves over in the early going. This has been a pretty measured approach from each one of these guys here. I haven't seen anybody going too crazy.
These guys are veterans, you know. They've been on the scene. They got a lot of fights between them, and you know, you learn quick. You can't blow it all out. So you see that experience right here.
Nice scoop, and Maldonado dumps Alvarez on his back. Moves into the full guard now of Alvarez. Alvarez trying to cage walk, see if he can get out of there. Using the cage to his advantage.
Alvarez has great hips.
Also hooks that leg of Maldonado.
He's looking for an armbar here.
He is.
Alvarez is just one of those guys that whenever he's on his back, he's always cutting an angle, looking to set up armbar, triangle, omoplata, sweep.
Not going to be lazy on his back. He's an active fighter. Both of them are, as we're already seeing here in round 1 of this flyweight title fight. Round 1 now comes to an end. Very close round between the two of them. Don't know who you give that round to, Eric.
I don't know. That was very, very close. I might give Maldonado a slight edge just because he had the top position and he did have those takedowns early, but there really wasn't a lot of action, but I'd give it to Maldonado for control.
Dave?
I would be inclined to agree with Eric. You know, usually with the judge's eyes, it's the guy on top being aggressive. However, when you're throwing up as many submission attempts as Gio, you never know what you're looking at, but more than likely probably 10-9 Maldonado for the position.
The big scoop slam from Maldonado, going right through, coming up under the groin, dropping him down. Big moment of that first round. Alvarez was able to land when they were on the feet some great kicks to the inside leg, to the knee. He was doing well with that. When it went to the ground, Maldonado, I think, took more control of round 1. We'll see what happens in round 2 in this 125er title fight here at Triton Fight 6 from the space at Westbury. Standing room only, sold out. And live on Pluto TV, round 2 starts now.
You know, despite the bad blood, they're still touching gloves.
Oh, that was a rough exchange, and I think Maldonado got the worst of it. He looked dazed for just a split second there. Alvarez now looking to try and move into dominant position. However, Maldonado's going to end up in his guard again.
It almost looked like he had a calf slicer there from underneath. That was interesting.
The calf slicer move you don't see all that often. An effective move, but just not one that you see all that.
I've only seen it pulled off once in professional MMA by Charles Oliveira.
Yep. Now we've got, you see the shrimping going on here from Alvarez trying to get out. But again, with flyweights, they have so much energy, Eric, and they're always pushing, always moving. It's hard to get out of their grasp when they're in there. You know, these aren't huge guys. These aren't the most powerful guys, but they are so active and so agile. It's difficult to advance your position.
There's a speed component that you really have to deal with when you're talking about fighters that are pretty much under that 145-pound division. And I'd almost say that there are like 3 different tranches of fighters. You have like the guys that are under 145, then you got the guys that are, I'll say like welterweight 55ers, welterweighters, a little bit 85ers, and then you have everyone above that. And the fighting styles you see in each of those 3 tranches is entirely different. The pace, the cadence, and the amount of moves and output in each of those 3 tranches separates the 3. And I mean, I don't think I could effectively coach a lightweight or featherweight fighter, or I don't know that I could effectively coach a heavyweight fighter just from my personal experience being a middleweight, just because there's so much of a differentiation between styles and paces.
You know what's interesting, though, as we watch these flyweights, and it's a weight class that I don't think gets the respect it deserves, the more you can fight like you're in a lower weight class at a higher weight class, the better you are.
Yes, you see that in the heavyweight division. Now a lot of times you see these guys that move like middleweights almost. And when I watch these smaller guys fight, I'm just like, oh, man, thank God I'm not that little.
Yeah. This speed that we're seeing, and right now we've seen Maldonado he's been in the guard, certainly, for the majority of this round of Alvarez. But again, in that top position, not doing a whole lot. Landing some hammer fists now, some ground and pound coming in from Maldonado. Not doing a ton with it, but being in that position, probably enough to move this round in his direction as we're coming up on the final 30 seconds of it.
I'm actually impressed by Maldonado. He's been dealing with an active guy in the bottom, going for a lot of submissions. He's maintained the position, and he's been busy when he can be. So I'm impressed with his top control. Very good showing.
Gio Alvarez just threw about 16 up kicks in the span of 10 seconds there. That's the impressive sort of stamina that they have in this. And it will go to the 3rd round. Not all that surprising at 125.
Gio's not your average guy on the bottom. He's busy on the bottom. He's making you work the whole time.
I don't think I've thrown 16 up kicks in my entire fight career.
Well, Gio Alvarez has a chance to throw a couple more in the 3rd round and might need to. After those first 2 rounds, Dave, I think I've got it 2-0 for Maldonado. What about you?
I'm going to have to agree.
Here we see the replay. We see Gio Alvarez landing that kick to the leg is what it was. It buckled Maldonado's leg a little bit, and it followed a little bit of a right hook as well. That was Alvarez's chance to pounce, and he did, but he, again, ended up with Maldonado in his guard at the end of it. And of course, his flyweights, neither one of them looks even slightly tired. A little bit of damage to the face. That's about it. Round 3. This might decide, well, it will decide one way or the other, the flyweight championship. All three of us have it 2 rounds to none for Maldonado. Does Gio Alvarez have a finish in him? Perhaps.
Well, a guy who's thrown that many submissions, he's always in the fight.
And Maldonado wants it back down to the ground. He wants that control for this round and try to make it 3 rounds with majority control. He might do it. Oh, I thought he was going for the slam, and he ends up just getting the pole takedown there. Bit of a partial butterfly there from Gio Alvarez. Maldonado looking like he might try to move into side control here. It's in a difficult position to do it now. Gio Alvarez's head up against the cage. At this point in a fight, when we're sitting here, Eric, and we think 2 rounds to none. If you're Gio Alvarez, do you think that? Has your corner told you that at this point in the fight?
Yeah, you usually know in your mind, and then your corner is always there to remind you in between rounds. And usually the corner's telling you got to land a big shot so you can knock them out, or you got to pull out a submission. And Alvarez has been on his back the entire fight, so like at this point, if he is able to win, it's one of those Hail Mary submissions that you get last minute.
Yeah, and sometimes those do happen. Well, he's only got 1 minute and 40 seconds to do so now as we are coming towards the end of this flyweight title. And it is at this point, at least in the eyes of the 3 of us, Eric Dame, Eric Ott, Dave De La Rocca, looks like it's moving towards Danny Maldonado putting on that Triton Fights flyweight title. He lands a couple little ground and pound shots there. Again, not the most active top control, but enough, active enough, and again, maintaining dominant position. The ref's not standing him up, so he's still doing enough to do that. He's been in this good spot now for the majority of the fight, really, Dave.
Well, yeah, in this 3rd round, too, you can see from his top control, he's actually getting busier on top. So it makes me wonder about whether Gio's slowing down a little bit here. Being that active on the bottom can tire you out. It's going to take its toll.
And if you know you're down 2 rounds, and it's got to be a little bit of a mental drain on you as well when you realize, well, this was my chance this round, and now I've ended up in the same spot I was in the first 2 rounds. There might be a little bit of that going on.
Right.
Now we've got Maldonado moving into side control. Got that leg
crucifix type position.
Like a pseudo crucifix. He's got that left foot holding the arm down. The arm is now out for Gio Alvarez, but for a moment he had that locked down. He was able to pepper him with a couple ground and pound shots to the head.
It's that old school mounted crucifix made famous early on. Was that Ian Salivary in the UFC who made that famous? Or?
He utilized it, and then later on, Roy Nelson. It's almost the type of position you need to have a real big belly for that cuts down the space. If you have that big belly, the guy can't get the arm through, and then you're able to just pepper him with like short little punches and elbows.
Big belly, I'd be good at that one. We're coming to the end of the 3rd and final round, and there it is. Danny Maldonado, he thinks he won the belt. We seem to think so too, but the judges have to give the official decision coming up. Blood pouring out of the nose now of Gio Alvarez, and I think that was an incidental contact that happened at the end as they were breaking up. That wasn't something happened during the fight. It was as they separated. You see the blood all over Maldonado's leg there. He seems to be kind of happy about that. Well, fighters are odd creatures, Eric Ott.
Yeah, some of us are, not some of us. You have to be a little bit weird to want to get punched in the face.
Danny Maldonado celebrating now. Gio Alvarez seems to have accepted it as well. So here you see some of the highlights of this fight. Looking at that 3rd round. This is where Maldonado went for the big takedown. He was hoping to get the slam, but Alvarez was able to hold on and actually grab the cage as we look at the replay. That might have saved him from getting slammed a little bit harder. Well, and as we're seeing now here, looks like any bad blood that existed between Alvarez and Maldonado is gone. As Alvarez raises Maldonado's hand, they had a good moment kneeling at the center of the cage before. Triton Fights owner and president Nick Canobio ready to put the flyweight belt on one of these two fighters. And that's coming up in just a moment once we get the official judges' decisions. Maldonado very confident that he's won it, and you know, let's be honest, so are we. It's pretty much a done deal. Gio Alvarez seems to think so as well. But the judges have the final say, and giving you their word, Steve Peacock.
And now we go to the judges' scorecards. Judge A scored 30-27. Judge B, 30-27. Judge C, 30-26. And the winner by unanimous decision, and he now retains his Triton flyweight title, came out of the red corner, Danny Maldonado.
Danny Maldonado retains the Triton Fights flyweight belt. Dave De La Rocca's got
Danny
him now.
Maldonado, and still hard-fought, exciting three-round battle. Entertaining scrap, and it looked like you guys put the bad blood to sleep, huh?
Yeah, I didn't perform like I wanted to perform. I felt a little fatigued, but, you know, I know how to wrestle. And that's always, no matter how much striking I do, nobody can stop my wrestling or my ground and pound. Respect to Gio, you know, this guy's been in the game for a long time, and we talked a lot of shit. That's cool and all, but respect is due. He took his beating like a man, and I respect him for it.
I gotta be honest, it didn't look like you were tired at all, so you had the poker face on and you kept a high pace. You retained the title. What's next?
Well, Flash tonight will be doing big things, maybe the pros, maybe I defend my title again, but I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna still win.
Your champ, Danny Maldonado.